We talk about business primarily on this show, but hey, business owners, entrepreneurs, you need love, right? And if you already have love, you want that love to even improve. So how do you do all this? How do you find love? Right here on Allie and You. Welcome to Allie and You, the business success and lifestyle show. I am so excited today. As always, we bring on amazing experts in their space to make life and business so much more enjoyable, so much more successful. Well, today we're going to shift a little bit and we're going to talk about love. Because when you're in love and you're happy, what happens? Everything improves. You make more money, your business is more successful. So we're going to talk about how you manifest all of that with our fantastic guest and my dear friend, Arielle Ford. Now, if you haven't met Arielle or if you haven't seen her on the show here before, she is a love and relationship expert and a leading personality in the personal growth and contemporary spiritual movement. For the past 30 years, she has been living and teaching and promoting consciousness through all forms of media. She is a speaker and producer and host of Evolving Wisdom's Art of Love series. Arielle is a gifted writer and the author of 11 books. Okay, if you haven't, I'm just telling you, I've written 2 and it was insane, so I have no idea. She's incredible, including the international bestseller, The Soulmate Secret, Manifest the Love of Your Life with the Law of Attraction, and Turn Your Mate into Your Soulmate. Both fantastic books. She's been called the Cupid of Consciousness and the Fairy Godmother of Love. She lives right here in beautiful La Jolla, California with her husband and soulmate, also, Brian Hillard, and their feline friends. So please help me welcome Arielle Ford.
Thank you, Allison. It's so fun to talk with you.
Yeah, I know. I think this is like your 3rd or 4th time on the show. We were talking about it. When we bring Arielle to the show, like our ratings go way up. So you are definitely in for a treat. And so I love the conversations we have around love. Like who doesn't want more love in their life, right? So there's different ways that that someone might define a soulmate, right? We're always looking for our soulmate. How would you describe that?
I believe that a soulmate is first and foremost somebody you can completely be yourself with, somebody with whom you share unconditional love, and when you look into their eyes, you have the experience of being home. And if you accept that definition, then the truth is you already have many soulmates in your life. It could be your parents, your siblings, your kids, your cats, your dogs, your coworkers. All of them fit into that definition. So if you're single and you don't want to be single, one of the fastest ways to manifest a romantic soulmate is to have a daily gratitude process where you give thanks for all the love you already have.
Oh, I love that. I've always said Daisy, my bulldog, is my soul dog.
She is.
And I know that feeling. I do. I look into her eyes and she's like, I love you, Mommy. I love you, Mommy.
No, it's true.
I love that. So does everyone have a soulmate?
We have so many potential romantic soulmates out there. So right now there are 7.5 billion people alive on the planet. Half of them are single. So chances are you have a couple of 100,000 excellent prospects for soulmates out there. So you're literally tripping over potential soulmates every day.
Wow. And so this, when people say what you want doesn't exist, that's like mathematically impossible.
Exactly.
Almost.
Unless
right?
you want to be right. You know, there's a lot of people out there who they have this whole story. I'm too old, I'm too fat, I'm too damaged, all the good ones are taken, the one that was got away, I live in the wrong city, you know, men my age only want younger women. They have this litany of excuses.
Yes.
That's like saying, I want to start a business, but I'm too old, I don't know how to do it, you know.
Right.
It doesn't stop you. If you're in business, nothing stops you,
Yeah,
right?
no.
But when it comes to love, women sometimes sit home on the couch with this, well, if it's meant to be for me to have love, love will find me.
They'll come knocking.
Right, and
the
Amazon
door.
One Click has not delivered this yet. So just like you wouldn't sit home with your 3 minor children starving saying, it's meant to be for me to have work, work will find me. You shouldn't sit around waiting for love to find you. Just like you know how to go out and make stuff happen in your career.
Yeah.
I can show anybody how to make stuff happen in their love life.
People used to tell me all the time, Allison, in my 30s and then my 40s, you're too old, or what you want doesn't exist. And I am so grateful.
They were so wrong.
Yeah, I just tuned them out. So, but, you know, some people, they feel like, well, I'm just meant to go on this journey alone. And so in a sense, it's a decision, right?
It's a self-fulfilling prophecy. You know, you just decide, oh, well, you know, I'm too much of this or too little of that, and here's all the reasons I can't do it. And then, you know, a year from now, they're still alone. You know, they get to make themselves right over and over again. And it doesn't have to be that way. I mean, one of the best parts of my day is turning on my email every morning and getting these emails from students saying, oh my God, you were right. I met the one. Here's my engagement ring. Will you come to my wedding? And they're 40, they're 50, they're 60, they're 70. You know, I've had them as old as 88. Okay.
Wow.
So it is absolutely possible for anybody in any situation to find love.
Yeah. Yeah, that is so beautiful. Now, you hear a lot about manifesting, and, you know, I'm a big believer in that, but can you kind of break it down? What does that process look like?
Well, it's really simple. So Law of Attraction 101 states that we draw to us the people, places, and experiences that match our state of being. So if our state of being is, I'm loving, I'm lovable, I'm deserving of love, love finds me easily, that will be your experience. Or if you're living in the state, I'm a loser when it comes to love, I'm unlucky in love, there's 10 million reasons why I can't have love, that too will be your experience. So the first thing we need to do is manage our own mind, right?
Yes.
We first have to really believe that love is possible. Now, how do you do that? You do that by doing a little research and discovering all the kinds of people that find love. Like, for instance, there's all these women who say to me, well, when I lose 30 pounds, I'll start dating. It's like, we both know you're never going to lose the 30 pounds. And we also know that...
Now, do you say that?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
I can be really difficult sometimes, but it's true, because even if you lose the weight, 99% of the people gain the weight back. The weight is not the issue. The thing you need to know, for those of you who think you need to lose weight, the average size wedding dress sold in the United States of America is a size 16. You do not need to be a 2, a 4, or 6 to find love.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, and you want someone that is loving you for all of you.
Exactly.
Right.
You know, so unless you're on that show 600 pounds and housebound or whatever it is, you know, I can give you an example of somebody your size who's found love. Size is not the issue.
Yeah.
So there's a couple of things involved. You want to believe that love is possible. And of course, there'll be days when you have doubts. Yes. And that's okay. That's normal. You just thank your mind for sharing and then move on. You know, you want to have clarity about what your must-haves are and your deal breakers. You know, so like for me, one of my must-haves was I needed a man who was generous. Not with his wallet. I made plenty of money. I needed a man who was generous with his love, affection, attention, time, appreciation, that's what my soul was most calling for.
Yes, and your husband is very generous.
Right, he's all of that. He's,
yes.
He's just a heart chakra on legs.
Yeah.
But that required that I give up this idea of what he looked like or how tall he was or how much money he makes. People think, oh, well, my husband has to make $500,000 a year or more. And the truth is, no matter how much money someone has when you meet them, all that money could be gone tomorrow.
Yeah.
Okay, the money comes and goes.
Yes.
What you want on your must-have list is, I want a mate who is financially responsible. That is so much more important. Yes. Even if you're supporting everything,
yes.
as long as they're financially responsible, you're going to have a good life.
And showing up, right?
Right. And if you're somebody who cares about what you eat and fitness and being healthy, then your must-have is, my mate is someone who leads a healthy lifestyle. You don't say, well, they have to be a triathlete or they have to be a vegan. I know one very happy couple where she's not only a vegan, but she only wears organic food and cleans with, environmentally friendly products. And her husband is a motorcycle repairman who smokes and hunts, but he eats everything that he kills. And they couldn't be happier, because for the first time in her life, she knows that she's loved for who she is.
Yeah.
She feels supported. He adores her. He's devoted to her. But they lead separate lifestyles when it comes to food.
Right. Yeah. That's fantastic. And I think it's a process to even go through that, right? To just get clear.
And I'll tell you what the process is, because it's really easy.
Okay.
So you sit down and you just make a list of the last 3 bad relationships you had, okay? And on one side of the page, you list the things that worked in each relationship, even if there's only a few.
Okay.
And then on the other side, you list the things that are never again.
Right.
Okay?
Yeah.
And then you'll know your must-haves and your deal breakers for the next one. You'll have this clarity. Oh, okay, well, for sure I could never again be with a lying, cheating, what.
Yeah.
So you want somebody who has honesty and high integrity. Okay?
Right.
There's a must-have for you, right? So it's just a process.
Or someone that's emotionally available and wants a relationship.
Well, that's an interesting thing. So emotional availability, quite often, if that's what keeps showing up for you, it's because you're not emotionally available.
Wow.
So that's being mirrored back to you. There's a part of you that's not open, willing, and receptive to love if every man who shows up is not available.
Wow. Yeah.
So it looks like the problem's over there.
Yeah. So you have to really look at yourself and say, how am I not being available?
Right. Because let me give you a few statistics.
Okay.
So everybody knows that the statistic for first marriages ending in divorce is 50%. Right? That's everybody knows this.
Yeah.
What most people don't know is that 64% of second marriages and 73% of third marriages end in divorce.
Wow.
And the reason isn't because you married the same guy 3 times. It's because you showed up in a marriage 3 times and you haven't grown. You haven't changed. You haven't expanded.
Yeah. Yeah.
So.
Yeah, you would hope by the 3rd time that you would evolve, right? And learn, because you're going to be carrying that stuff forward.
Yes.
With you, right?
Yeah.
And into other relationships. But so can you speed up the process? Like, here's averages or something?
Here's why you don't want to speed up the process. Okay. So yes, we live in this instant gratification, model.
Yeah.
And when it comes to love, it doesn't work. And the reason it doesn't work is because it's the biggest, most important choice you're ever going to make. And you want to choose wisely. And you can't get to know somebody deeply by speed dating through it with them. It really takes a full year to really deeply get to know somebody, to get to know their values, to see them in different circumstances, to meet their friends and family and have your friends and family meet them.
Yes.
Because the hallmarks of a great long-term happy marriage are the same for everybody. It's about a little bit of chemistry. You don't need a ton of chemistry, but a little bit of chemistry, connection, compatibility, clear communication, which can be learned. And the 2 most important parts of that is 1, a shared vision of the future. I want kids, you want kids. I want
Right.
to live by the beach, you want to live by the beach. You know,
Yeah.
it doesn't work if I want to live in Alaska and you want to live in Bali. Okay, it doesn't work.
Yeah.
And then you have to feel physically and emotionally safe with them. So that takes time. So all this thing, well, I'm running out of time. You know, I'm 39 and a half. I got to find somebody right now. Take a breath. Right? Take a breath. It's more important that you wait. I had this one young friend who Brian and I were coaching, and she was 32 when we met her. Her parents were of Indian descent. She was raised in the States. And she was just desperate. Her family was putting so much pressure on her. And she kept saying over and over again, I'm just a homely girl, I'm just a homely girl. And I was like, you're beautiful, what are you talking about? She said, no, in my culture, homely means unmarriageable. It means nobody wants you, you have to live at home with your parents. And I just said to her, listen, it's a timing thing. I know your soulmates out there. I know your kids are out there in the future. Someday Brian and I are going to dance at your wedding, I promise you. And 8 years later, literally, when she turned 40, we danced at her wedding. And on the day of her wedding, she discovered she was pregnant with her first child. She's now given birth to 2 children.
Wow.
But I asked her at her wedding, I said, was he worth waiting 8 years for? And she said, absolutely. And they're just so happy together.
Yeah. Well, I didn't meet my husband till I was 42. And, you know, I would say to him, gosh, I wish we met sooner. And he would say, no, you didn't want to know me back then. Like, I still had, he was kind of wild and crazy. He said, you would have run for the hills.
Brian and I met him when I was 43. And I remember hearing from his friends saying, God, we never thought Brian would end up with somebody like you. And it's like, what do you mean somebody like me? Well, you're so sane and grounded. and Brian's such a wild maniac. And he had and even his mother said to me, oh, I'm so happy to meet you. Because he was like Mike, a wild child, crazy maniac. And we both acknowledged that had we met a moment sooner, it would have never worked.
Yeah. It's, you really have to trust the process. So what is it that, there's some things that people get wrong when they're trying to manifest their soulmate? What are some things that you find that people are struggling with?
I think particularly women who consider themselves spiritual want the hairy version of themselves, okay? That's what Allison Armstrong calls it, the hairy version of themselves. They want someone who's waking up and drinking green drinks, going to hot yoga, meditating twice a day, practicing mindfulness, shopping at Whole Foods, and doing yoga and meditation. They think, okay, they want a spiritual guy. And the truth is, it doesn't matter if he does yoga and does meditation, because if that were any indication of values, Russell Simmons was not somebody you would think is going to be charged with 4 rapes. Okay, he's written best-selling books on yoga and meditation.
Right.
There wouldn't be all these guru scandals of gurus and yoga teachers sleeping with their students.
Right,
all right.
Right.
So
that's not like a preventative.
No, it's not an indication. What it is an indication is that some of these guys are really smart and they know the hot-looking girls are in the yoga classes, and that's why they're there. Okay, that's more likely to be true. So, what you want to do is really look and see what are the heart traits and qualities my soul is most calling for. What they're looking for is a conscious man. And the difference between a conscious man and a spiritual man is a conscious man is someone who lives his life on purpose.
Yeah.
So they may have never read Marianne Williamson or Deepak Chopra or Don Miguel Ruiz or heard of any of these people. But they have good ethics, and they volunteer at Big Brothers, and they'll drive your mother to the doctors, and they'll take a bullet for you, and they're gonna, that's
and they take responsibility.
Right, and it doesn't really matter what they believe in, unless you're a practicing Catholic and you want someone who's going to church every Sunday with you. What you're looking for is a conscious man or a conscious woman, because these apply regardless of your lifestyle.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, and maybe it's because when women say that, it's like they want someone that is sensitive I don't know. What do you think? Sensitive and sensitive to their
feelings?
feelings?
Men and women are just so different.
Yeah.
If you really need someone who's going to empathize with you, call your best friend, call your mother, go out for drinks with the girls. At the end of the day, there are other people in your lives who can serve that. Now, definitely you want somebody who's going to be there to help you out and be empathetic.
Right.
But asking one person to be all of
those
that
things, that's a lot of pressure.
It's not only a lot of pressure, you're not getting the best possible advice.
Yeah.
Like there are certain things I would go to you for before I'd go to Brian for, right?
Yeah.
Because I want the best possible advice. If I want to feel loved, nurtured, adored, protected, that's what Brian does.
Right.
If I want to just dish, there's several people I can Skype with and we can just dish and have a good time.
Right. I think this is a really good point. I think this is where a lot of women get stuck.
Yeah.
Trying to have that one person be
and
the end
I
all.
know a lot of your people also are coaches, so I have a warning for female coaches who are looking to get married. Never, ever coach your boyfriend or husband unless they specifically ask you about one thing. If they need coaching, you find them a coach.
Yeah.
Okay, but otherwise you shift the male-female dynamic, it will kill your sex life because now you're going to be big mama. And I know coaches can't help but coach. They know that they know the answer, and you need to shut up and keep your mouth shut.
Yeah. It's something
and it's
I
hard
have to work on.
Oh no, every day I have to stop myself because I'm a know-it-all.
Yeah.
And I want to just say, honey, it would be a whole lot easier if you did it this way. But there's been a study done. Do you know what the number one thing men want more than sex?
What? I have no idea.
Respect. So when you're coaching, especially if you're offering up unasked for coaching, you're disrespecting his intellect.
Oh, interesting. See, I wouldn't have thought that way. So respect, trust, right?
Right.
So yeah, that makes
Somebody
sense.
once told me that you never take a male over the age of 5 and do anything for him or show him how to do anything unless asked.
Over the age of 5.
Over the age of 5.
Wow.
That might be a little young, but
that's amazing. So, so you've coined you have a process called love before first sight.
Yes.
So can you tell us about that?
It's actually a theory more than a process. So you understand quantum science, right?
Yes.
In quantum science, what we know is that there is no time. There's no past, there's no future, there's just this now moment.
Yeah.
And in quantum science, we know that we all exist in a field. And in the field, we are already connected to everything and everybody. So in the field, in this now moment, on the unseen plane, you are already connected to your soulmate. So you can stop living like my soulmate is missing and start the relationship right now in this moment. And the way you do that is you close your eyes, you drop from your head down to your heart, you get into a heart coherent space, a loving space, and then you send out a golden cord from your heart to their heart, even though you don't know their name, you don't know where they are. You send this golden cord of love to their heart, and you have a conversation with them. And you do that every day. You just take time every day to connect on this heart level.
Wow.
And when you do this, and when you finally meet them on the physical plane, in the 3D world, there's a spark of recognition because you started the relationship before first sight.
Wow, that is so powerful. And I believe that is so true, that the past, present, future are happening at the same time. I know for some of you, you might be thinking, wait a minute. But we invented the clock and the calendars and all of those things. So, and I know when I was ready to meet Mike, I just kept visualizing every day this man walking towards me, and really feeling him over and over walking towards me. It's just...
Yeah.
And there he showed up.
And you can do it with more than just love relationships. I do this with money all the time. Now, do I know where the money's coming from? No, and I don't need to know. What I need to keep reminding myself is the money always comes. And it already exists. It's not like the money's not out there.
Right.
It's just coming to me from the craziest places,
Yeah.
the most unexpected ways. And I've learned to let go of the need to know the how. If I'm stuck on, well, how is it going to happen? Then I'm not trusting that it's already happened.
Right.
So that's sort of the shift in thinking. What I've asked for is already mine.
I love that. And you just have to draw it in or expect that it's coming.
No, not even expect it. Just know it. Be grateful for it.
Yes.
I'm so grateful for all the abundance in my life. I did this, it happens all the time, but I did this really crazy thing one day. I'd just gotten home from a book tour. It was February. I was really tired, and I was sort of pining for a Caribbean vacation. And I was like sitting back in my chair at my desk. Oh, God, wouldn't it be lovely to be on a beach with the turquoise waters and the sun, feeling the sun on my body. And then the phone rang. And this woman asked for Greg Reed, who we know. And I said, well, there's no Greg here, but he's a friend of mine. I know him. Do you want me to give you his number? And it turned out that it was a woman that I had met once. And we started talking, and we still couldn't really figure out how she dialed my number for Greg. And I said, well, just before you hang up, tell me what you're up to. And she said, oh, I'm getting ready to go sailing on my sailboat in the Caribbean. And I said, oh my God, that sounds so wonderful. I was just daydreaming about that. She said, well, why don't you and your husband come with me? And I said, what are you talking about? She said, another couple was booked to go with us. And they just canceled this morning. Everything's paid for. All you need to do is get yourself to whatever, British Virgin Islands. And I said, well, what kind of boat is it? Oh, it's a 48-foot catamaran. And I said, well, I'm a yes, but I need to go talk to my husband. What's your number? I'll call you back. So I run upstairs and I tell Brian, oh my God, we just got invited on this like free week-long sailing thing. And he starts asking me all these questions. Well, who's the captain of the boat? And you know, like technical stuff.
Yeah.
And what do you know about her? And what do you know about the husband? And I'm like, I don't know anything. Let me go get your answer. So I call her back and I ask her these 15 questions. And she's the captain. She's had her captain's license for 18 years. Her husband's a pilot for NetJets. He flies G5s and G6s. You know, I get all this great information. So I run back upstairs and I give Brian the information. I was like, just say yes. I really want to go. Just say yes. I said, not only that, we have points on American. The ticket's not even going to cost anything. So he gets this look on his face, and I was like, listen, we're great swimmers. If they're crazy people, we'll jump off the boat and we'll swim to safety. Okay, so that's how we ended up on this trip. And it all came out of just allowing myself to say, wouldn't it be lovely if?
And you totally manifested that, because here it was almost like a mistake call, the wrong number.
Yeah.
And
it was a fantastic trip.
Yeah.
It was great.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I know what I'm going to be closing my eyes and thinking about tonight. So now you talk about that it's important to have an accountability partner for finding your soulmate. Like you think about that in business or weight loss, but you don't really think about that in love. Why do you feel that's important?
I think it's important, especially for women, because it's so easy to get distracted. You know, so like I tell women, if you're really super dedicated to finding love, you're going to put it in your calendar now. You're going to put it in your calendar that you're going to spend at least 30 minutes every day, you know, working on online dating. You're going to put times in your calendar when you have time to go on coffee dates and when you have time to go on dinner dates. You're actually going to block the time now, even though you don't have the date. Okay, and so it's really easy to just say, oh, well, I've got this work thing or I've got this kid thing, and you'll look for any excuse not to stay focused. So when you have to report back to somebody, when somebody's holding you accountable, you're going to be more productive just as you are in business. Yeah, and you're putting your intention there. You know, I set a date when I was going to meet Mike and when we were going to get married. And we met within that time. So, I mean, what do you think about that? Well, I think for somebody like yourself who was already an advanced manifester and had a level of consciousness with which to do that, that's great. For the newbies out there that haven't done it, I would say That's an advanced practice. Get a year under your belt of showing yourself that you can manifest, and start easy, like with the perfect little black dress or a parking space. But I agree. Like our friend Peggy McCall, this is what she did. So Peggy has been working with Bob Proctor since she was like 12. She's a master manifester, and after her divorce, she and her young son moved to the suburbs, and she was working from home. The only time she left the house was to grocery shop, pick the kid up at school, or take him to hockey practice. And that was her whole life, but she wanted to manifest love. So being an advanced manifester, she created an affirmation for herself where she basically said, my soulmate will find me. That was the essence of it. One morning at 8 in the morning, her doorbell rings. She goes to the door. There's a very handsome man standing there holding a small dog. And he says to me, it says to her, my name is Denis. They live in Canada. And he said, I'm new to the neighborhood. I've seen you walking your dog. I'm the pilot for the Prime Minister of Canada. I have to go to work, and my dog sitter is sick. Is there any possible way you would watch Pookie for me for the day? And of course she said yes.
Yeah.
And when he came back at 6 o'clock to pick up Pookie, she had the wine and cheese ready. They've now been married for 12 years.
That's incredible.
And they have 2 new puppies because Pookie and her dog have since passed.
Oh my God, that is such a great story. Oh my gosh. Let's see. I've heard you say this, and a lot of people might disagree, but you've really got to learn to love yourself first to find love. What are your thoughts around that?
I totally disagree with that.
Okay.
Okay, I think this whole self-love thing is out of control.
Okay.
Okay, so if you're somebody who suffers from self-loathing to a degree that it really ruins your life, then you need therapy.
Right,
okay?
that's different.
That's why God invented therapists. The truth is, all of us, no matter how successful, have self-doubt. We have a critical voice in our head that's always, chirping away, being the monkey mind. You can't do this, you can't do that, whatever.
Yeah, who do you
think you are, right? Even Paul McCartney was talking about this on an interview recently. Even he still has it. Okay, this is normal.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you're out there, well, I can't have love until I'm madly in love with myself and I love myself so much, you're going to be alone for the rest of your life. Okay, the fastest way to learn to love yourself more is when you're in a soulmate relationship and you see your soulmate reflecting back to you how much they love you. Nothing will heal you faster than love. So the truth is, regardless of where you are on the self-love scale, that should not be a reason not to be looking for your soulmate, unless it's an illness.
Yeah, I think that's so true. How many people have you met that when they're in a relationship, you go, oh my God, they seem so much happier. They're so much nicer, So it's really that they've learned to love themselves through the relationship.
I'm a much better person because I'm with Brian,
Yeah.
I mean, when we first got together, I was, hyper ambitious, type A to the max, just a nervous wreck. I had all this responsibility. And then suddenly, I had this person who was there to hold space for my success. My success level doubled after I got married. My income level doubled. And it wasn't because I was working double. I was actually working less. But I suddenly had this emotional safety that I'd never had before. Yeah. Somebody who really believed in me. Somebody I could walk through the door and they'd say, oh God, you better go take a bath. I see you had a really bad day. You know?
Yeah.
It makes all the difference in the world.
And believed in you and all of those things.
Yeah, you want someone who's your biggest cheerleader.
Yeah. And so what's feathering the nest?
The nest. Feathering the nest. Yes. So you want to prepare your home for your soulmate. And even if you're living in a closet at your mother's house and you're sure you're never going to live there with your soulmate, this is not an excuse not to do it. So wherever it is that you're living, you want to get it ready. And you do this a couple of different ways. First, you want to clear out all the clutter. Feng Shui 101, get rid of clutter. Then you want to get rid of all the photographs and souvenirs and mementos that are reminding you of past relationships. good or bad, it doesn't matter what the memories are. If they're about a past relationship, your unconscious is still tying you to those people.
Really?
So you need to get rid of that. And when I say get rid of it, ideally like gone, but if you're so sentimental you can't do that, box it up and put it in somebody else's garage, not yours, and get it out of the house.
Wow, I got some work to do.
And this
but I've been married for a long time.
This goes for jewelry too. So if you've taken your last engagement ring and repurposed it into a necklace and you're wearing it around your neck every day, you are still energetically tied to your ex, because gemstones and metals, gold, silver, platinum, hold energy.
Yeah.
And on an unconscious level, you are still tied to whoever gave you that. Wow. So I would say give it to nieces or sell it, or at least put it away for a very long time. And then when you are married to your soulmate, ask, do you mind if I wear these earrings that, boyfriend number 32 gave me?
Yeah.
So that's what I talk about, feathering the nest, really preparing on a lot of different levels. And there's probably 20 other things you could do as well, but I know we don't have all day.
Yeah. I mean, really making space for this person to come in. And so, I mean, these are things that you're such the expert, and you teach these people, you teach people how to do this. You've had success story after success story. So for those of you that are sitting there going, I thought I was learning business today, I'm learning more about love, and you are ready to find that soulmate. I mean, you have a special gift. You have something exciting coming up. So
Claire Zammit, the founder of Feminine Power, and I have put together a free 75-minute webinar where we teach women how to unblock their blocks to love. We teach the super skills of dating. We give all kinds of information on how to raise your love frequency so that you're vibrating on the speed of love and bringing more love into your life. So it's a really juicy, content-rich, free 75 minutes. And all you have to do is go to soulmate44.com, soulmate44.com, and you can instantly get registered for it.
Fantastic. Soulmate44.com. And 4 is my lucky number, although I already
44 is my lucky number.
Oh, really? Okay, fantastic. Well, this has been so much fun.
Thank you.
I always love when you come here, and this will definitely not be the last. So, so if you are ready to manifest your soulmate, you definitely want to check out this webinar that Arielle has prepared for you, and maybe even if you already have your soulmate, but you know somebody else, right, that you're close to,
right. And if you're already with your soulmate, and there are moments where you're angry, frustrated, disappointed, or ready to leave, if you go to my website, which is soulmatesecret.com, I have free chapters to my book, Turn Your Mate into Your Soulmate.
Yeah. Hey, I think it's natural. Every relationship goes through periods like that, but you can spruce up in most any relationship. Well, this has been awesome. Thank you. Thank you. All right. Well, thank you for being here with us on Allie and You. Until next time, get out there, elevate yourself, because you are worth it.
People always talk about they want to be part of 7-figure companies. I'm now part of 7, 8, and 9-figure companies. I've been introduced to some of the largest corporations, Fortune 500 companies, and it's with Allison's help, she's kind of expanded my horizons and my capabilities. And I think that's the most important thing, where she expands, she makes you know what you can do and be successful at that.
Being with Allison and being able to learn who to hire and why to hire and how to develop a passionate, creative, inspired team was really, really important for me, because I needed to shift some energy in my business. And I feel like with her help, I've really done that.
Pinnacle helped me grow my company to where at this point, a year ago, I made $1 million more than I did at this point last year. So I really wanted to break that ceiling. I've hit that ceiling for several years in a row, and Pinnacle has helped me do that by implementing the thought. It's actually just a thought process, and how you view your company and how you view what you're doing. I think a lot of us entrepreneurs are hard on ourselves and are hard on our companies when it's not that, we shouldn't be that way. So I think it's just looking at things a little bit differently, putting into practice the systems that she teaches us. For example, if you want an example, putting people in place to where I want my business to be at in 2-3 years. So I've got people right now in place, and it's wild. It's just like it's all the work is coming in, and we're in place and we're not stressed out. And it's just amazing. It's just an amazing place to be.
What I love most about being in the Pinnacle is constant access to support. So whether it be my mastermind group or the recorded resources that Allison has produced for us, or the constantly cutting edge information that's coming to us on social media, Facebook ads, how to conduct webinars, I mean, you name it, we have a resource for it.
So since joining Pinnacle, we've added 12 new positions to the company. We've increased revenue about 43%. We've increased profit by 111% this year. More importantly, I've gotten out of some roles that I was in, like QA manager, and some of the marketing things that I was doing are now outsourced, or not outsourced, insourced to a team member. And I've really focused in on running the business instead of letting it run me.
Coaching opportunities out there, and a lot of times I'm a little bit suspicious. It's a kind of a sales job, you know, are they in it for themselves, are they in it for me? And at no time have I ever felt with Pinnacle that my best interest was not #1 priority. And it's truly an organization, and not just Allison and the coaches, but everyone there. It's coming from a place of giving and working for mutual benefit, a lot of sharing going on, and that's a great team to work with.
Right off the bat, I laid a foundation for my coaching practice, and I increased my prices, and within 1 week I had signed 2 high-paying clients that had basically paid for my coaching program with Allison, and since then my income has doubled every single month.
It's been tremendous, but being a part of the community has been the greatest asset. I've been so fortunate and blessed to befriend so many other amazing entrepreneurs who I learn from on a regular basis, who always have my back, like-minded people that I surround myself with, and the environment is so positive. I just cannot speak highly enough of it, and I am always compelled to share it with everyone I know. I feel it is the biggest gift to introduce and share this opportunity to connect with this kind of community with everybody that I know.
Don't be the company like I was, being in business for over 12 years, looking back and saying, what did I do in the last 10 years? Do it now. Now is all we have. We don't have the past and we don't have the future. All we have is now.
I've been in business for 21 years now, and I've worked with a number of business coaches. And I watched Allison for 4 years and the results that her clients had when they worked with her. And I finally decided this is the next coach that I'm gonna hire, because she is the real deal. She is available to her people. She absolutely cares deeply about each and every individual and the success of their business. And you know what? We have to, in business, take risks. And sometimes taking risk is hiring that new coach. This is a risk worth taking.
There is nothing like it. I can't even explain what the opportunity and the learning that comes with Pinnacle. Don't even think about it, because if you think about it, and that's the #1 thing that will hold you back, just do it. You won't regret it.
You just need to do it. I mean, you have to stop being on the fence. You have to get off the fence is boring. The fence is, honestly, I was on the fence for, oh gosh, I was on the fence for maybe 2 years. And it was a horrible fence to sit on. I hated the fence because the fence kept me stuck. And it was when I finally jumped off the fence that my business skyrocketed.